Caiphus Dr. Gofhamodimo, thanks for being my next guest on the show. Before we get stuck in, I want to play a video for you.
Yeah.
And I want you to watch it.
All right.
And then we'll talk afterwards, right? So
okay.
Just press the play button.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. First, I would like to thank the MC, Yash and Yufti, for giving me this opportunity to speak on behalf of Yash's friends on their wedding day. My speech will just be brief, as my friendship with Yash is a young one. It's only turning 10 years in January next year. I first met Yash in January 2006 when we were all in first year in University of Pretoria. We stayed in the same res and we were in the same class. I come from Botswana, and at the time I met Yash, I didn't know where he was from. My professor in University of Botswana told us before we left the country that we're going to international universities in South Africa and we should interact with other international students when we get here to learn about their cultures and all. So Yash used to wear a sweater written Russia at the back. And he used to move in a group with Yasir, Kistin, and Mohit. So at that time, with my third world way of thinking, because I used to be with my boys from Botswana wearing t-shirts written Botswana, I used to feel sorry for them, thinking that they are from very far compared to everyone else in Russia. They must be very lonely. So when we were in the bus to main campus, I used to tell myself I should make friends with this Russian girl. I was scared of it because I'd never interacted with like a white person before. And one day in rest, I went to his room and he offered me tea and we sat and had a chat. And that was when I learned he's actually from Durban and not from From day one, me and Yash became best friends. Okay, more like brothers because we had a lot in common. First, we both came from families where our fathers were our role models and we wanted to make them proud by doing well at school. And in second year when things were getting tough, like I used to tell Yash that, hey, Yash, when we were studying, I'm like, Yash, you know, if I fail here, man, my dad is going to take me to a farm in Botswana, you know. He'll be like, hey, Kaifi, you know, if I fail here, my father will kill me. But it just, not literally, but just to show how, like, we wanted to make our fathers proud, you know. So, also, we both love to have a good time during our spare time. The big boys, Jeff and Dustin, used to take us for refreshments. A place called Drop Zone on Fridays. We both love people and we're both generous. But Yash is more on the extreme of generosity. Like for example, when we opened from December holidays in January 2007, Yash came back with PlayStation 3 and he was the only student who had it in the medical campus. So there was always a long queue outside Yash's room to the door of this hall of people coming from all races coming to play PlayStation. And the man didn't have a problem with that. We both loved our families. He invited me to his house in Durban so I could meet his family, of which I eventually did in 2008. And when I got here, I saw where the man's good heart comes from. His family welcomed me into their house, and for the 2 weeks that I was in Durban, they treated me like their own child. Me and Yash, we had good relationship skills as we were elected to be in the House Committee in 2008, and we served our residents with pride, and people that were there during our time with Pereshin and them, witnesses, as we made sure everyone had a good time through Yash's social subcommittee, as he was a social hacker. Ladies and gentlemen, I learned a lot from Yash and Yufti's relationship. I was not lucky with keeping women while we were still at varsity. And I always used to wonder how a young man like Yash manages to do it. I learned from him that humility, patience, and always working at your relationship will keep it forever. And here I am, I also managed to poach a beautiful young lady before I finished medical school, and I've been in a beautiful marriage with her for 2 years. And now we've been blessed with a pretty little boy that we couldn't bring here because he becomes very naughty. He would have shifted everyone's attention from Yasha. Although I know I shouldn't be asking people who are close to me for advice when it comes to family matters, I still consult with my brother now and then if I get a little bit of turbulence with my woman and it doesn't, Yash doesn't become biased. He will tell me, Caiphus, you were in the wrong. Can you hear what you're saying? He'll just tell me that go and fix your problems. You know? With all that said, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to tell my brother Yash that I'm happy for him, and I would like to wish him and Yufti all the best on their new journey as husband and wife, filled with love, happiness, wealth, and lots of babies.
Yo.
So that brings back memories. I think that's about almost 10 years ago.
Yeah.
At my wedding.
Yeah.
And I know that some of that speech was made up. I'll tell you why. Because only because you said at one stage when you visited me, I offered you tea in my room. Now, I know I never offered you any tea. We both know it wasn't tea. So the question I have is, did you really think I was from Russia, or was that just you being a comedian?
No, I wasn't actually.
Yeah.
Because, you know, like we remember that time when we started, like there were this, everyone like used to wear like things, you know, like we used to wear like this t-shirts like written Botswana and whatever. It was sort of like, you know, to identify yourself.
Yeah.
Because we were still small and like we could easily get lost in campus and stuff like that. So that at least when people see you, they can know that, you know, you from this guy, we must take him to this place to find out. So I always also used to think, no, this guy is from Russia, you know, like until like it clicked in my mind that no, actually people are just, you know, you must remember also.
But you knew I wasn't white.
No. That I knew.
Probably more like a Lechoa in your mind.
But you see, the thing is, I came from a small town where there was not a lot of like other races, you know. It was mostly black people in the communities, and you know, our teachers would be from Zambia. I had one Indian old man who was my design and technology teacher, Mr. Sharma. Was from India. So there wasn't, you know, it wasn't like a university of Pretoria. You know, like then you meet all different kinds of people, races and stuff like that. And you still, now coming from that background, you wouldn't know like who comes from where.
Yeah,
and,
no, of course.
all those things. Yeah.
Okay. So most of it was non-fiction. Some of it was made up. The tea part was definitely. But what was it like growing up in Botswana?
Yeah, growing up in Lobatse.
Where about? Lobatse?
In Lobatse, yeah.
Okay.
I grew up in Lobatse since I was born until I was like 17, 18 thereabouts. Then I moved to Gaborone when I went to stay in Res.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you mean Res? What's that?
Like when I went to stay in University of Botswana, Res.
Okay.
Yeah. So because what happened is I went through my schooling was all of it in Lobatse.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So primary school was Botaka Primary School. Yeah. Junior school, Pitikwe. So junior school is like, you know, I think junior school is in Botswana, you would go from standard 1 to standard 7.
Okay.
So I think that's grade 1 to grade 7 here.
Okay, grade 1, grade 1 to 9 or grade 3 to 9, yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Then from there you go from Form 1 to Form 3.
Okay.
That's called junior school.
Okay.
And then from there you go to senior school now. Yeah. This is like Form 4 and Form 5.
So you went to University of Botswana?
I went to University of Botswana.
But before we get to that, did you always know you wanted to be a doctor, a surgeon from the time you were growing up?
Well, you know, when we were growing up as small boys, you would just want to you just know that you want to be something in life.
Okay. Yeah.
You know, but there wasn't specific.
Yeah.
You know, like our kids here, you ask your kids, hey, what child, what do you want to be? Then they'll be like, no, I want to be a truck driver.
Yeah, yeah. That was me, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or policeman or something.
Or policeman or whatever, yeah. But then, so that's like in my young age, it never like...
So in Lobatse, what was being something?
In Lobatse, being something, to be honest with you, in Lobatse growing up, there was a lot of guys who would like go to university, and then at a later stage, maybe after 3 years, as we were growing, you hear that, no, uncle, whoever stays in America.
Okay.
You're like, oh, he's not coming back. They said, no, he works there now. And uncle, whoever. So Botswana used to not have like a fully fledged university that's well developed, having engineering faculties, medicine faculties, but now things are like
So in your mind, growing up there, to make it means making it out of Bots.
Yeah, living abroad. Yeah.
And what about your parents? They're rich? Do you come from like a wealthy family background?
No.
Yeah.
I don't come from a wealthy background. So I was living with my grandmother.
Yeah.
So my mother was living in she lived in a couple of places. She lived in Muchudi, because she was like into sort of like administration.
Okay, in Botswana.
The government, yeah.
Okay.
She went to live in Muchudi. She lived in Molepole.
Yeah.
And she went to live in Shoshong, a place called Shoshong, the up north.
Okay.
And she came to live in Gaborone.
Okay.
So because of that, I couldn't really live with her, because they wanted sort of like a stable thing for me to live with the old lady. And like, that's how I stayed in Lobatse throughout.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then your dad?
So the old man was living in Rustenburg.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he lived in Rustenburg up until he went on pension.
Doing what?
He was working in mining.
Okay.
Yeah. So they were like, they would come like on holidays, then we all together.
So your granny brought you up, basically?
My grandmother brought me up, yeah.
And were you exposed to doctors and things? As a kid? Your family?
Not in the family.
Friends?
Not in the family. Not any of my closest friends. But like my grandmother was close with there was a general practitioner in Lobatse.
Okay.
Yeah, because I think they were the first inhabitants of that town.
Okay.
His name was Dr. Mosam.
Yeah.
So this old man...
Dr. Mosam?
Dr. Mosam, yeah.
Indian guy?
Yeah, he was a Muslim old man.
Yes.
So
I know an advocate, a very well-known advocate with that surname. That's why I'm asking.
Yeah. So he was like one of the first GPs in that town.
Yeah.
So all the children, everyone, like even the old ladies, when they're not well, they would go to him.
Okay.
And then only if they
did you go to him also?
Only if they need referrals to go to the hospital, then he would refer them to the...
And now Lobatse is a small town.
Lobatse is
like
a very small town.
Is it like a village sort of thing? Or? No, like a town.
Yeah, it's like a town.
What's the equivalent in South Africa like?
The equivalent, I would say maybe Zerast. I don't know if you've been to Zerast.
No.
In what can I... In Gauteng... In Gauteng, I could say like...
well, maybe like a Tongaat type of thing in KZN?
Yeah, like Tongaat, yeah. It's like a small little...
System. Okay, like a little town, like Referrals or something.
Yeah.
Then how did you end up in South Africa?
So I ended up here because University of Botswana, as I said before, didn't have like a medical faculty.
Yeah, but you went to University of Botswana for what?
So how it works in Botswana, like after high school, you go to University of Botswana.
Okay.
So there were two options at that time when I was finishing high school. There were two options. You could either choose to come to South Africa and do like matric at a high school. They used to take people to Abbots and Demelin College and all that thing in Cape Town and other cities.
Who's there? Who used to take? What do you mean they?
The government.
The government used to take you.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
So you would come to South Africa, do that matric. Once you pass that matric, you go to one of the South African universities and do whatever you like.
So that's the one option. Okay.
That's the one option.
Yeah.
The other option is you go to University of Botswana.
Okay.
you do whatever you want to do there.
Okay.
Or you can do like sort of like, you can do what at that time, because I wanted to get into medicine, they would put you in a pre-medical course.
Pre-med, okay.
Yeah, pre-med.
But why did you want to get into medicine?
Well,
for money.
No, it wasn't for money.
Yeah.
At that time,
so was it Dr. Mosam who inspired you?
Yeah, the old man inspired me. Like, he was loved by most people in the community.
Yeah.
And like, I saw like the way he used to like sort of like change lives and all that stuff. And then because he treated me for a very long time when I was a lighty, when we get flu, we go to Dr. Mosam. When we get, so it was that thing that, you know, I want to be someone like,
was he like the first, was he like the first professional maybe that you interacted with as a kid? Not really. I mean, you didn't, because growing up, you don't interact with lawyers, you don't interact with architects, maybe teachers. Yeah, of course, teachers.
Yeah,
besides teachers.
Like, in terms of professionals, because like my mom was a professional.
Yeah.
Most of my aunts were professionals, but the thing is, most of them were like into teaching and admin and all that stuff. So now, but I think the one thing that really drove me into medicine is I was doing well at school.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
So my grandfather.
Yeah.
Well, my grand uncle.
Right.
Which is Emily is my grandmother.
Yeah.
The one that I named my daughter after.
Okay. So
my grandmother's brother and my grandmother, they saw that no, these boys were sharp. Us and Paul and Fluid. You remember you met Fluid, right?
I have, yeah.
Yeah. So like they wanted us to be professionals. So now they appreciated the fact that they've got children who are professionals, but most of them are into like commerce, into admin and teaching and all that. But they wanted something else.
Okay.
You know?
Oh, so they encouraged
us to do something. So like, now they sort of like the people who really pressured me into this medicine thing.
Okay.
But I think I ended up enjoying it myself.
Okay.
And
so they gave you a steer, and it's not like you know, from the time you can remember, I want to be a doctor or something.
Yeah. No, it wasn't like that.
Okay.
Yeah. So
then you went to University of Botswana.
Yeah. Then we went
to do pre-medical. You get in for that because you're doing well.
Yes.
Right. And then how does it work?
I got to University of Botswana. I did pre-med.
How many years?
1 year and a half.
1.5 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then we all passed. But as I was doing pre-med, remember the thing now that, you know, I wanted to go overseas, you know?
Okay, that was your thing.
That was my thing.
Yeah.
No, you know, you must go to a university overseas and whatever. So now in pre-med, the overseas university was only 2 universities. University of Melbourne and University of Monash.
Okay, Monash, where is that? Also in Australia?
In Australia.
So two Australian universities.
2 Australian universities.
Right.
And then the other option now, after completing this pre-med, was to come to South Africa.
Okay.
There was a professor there, Prof. Mukwena, who was doing this allocations, and he was administering this pre-med project. So then the other universities will be South African universities: University of Pretoria, University of Free State, University of KZN, and UCT.
Okay, all the medical places, right?
4.
But not Wits,
Yeah, 4. And so now...
and you know that Bots is going to pay for this?
Yeah, Bots is going to pay for this.
So if you do well, you pass, you've got options of Australia
or South Africa. Yeah.
So you're quite motivated now to do well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the only person at that time who gets to choose where they go is number 1 in the whole pre-medical program.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So you wanted to be the first. So you can have a choice, right?
Everyone wanted to be the first.
Of course,
to have a choice.
Because you wanted to go to Australia.
Yeah. But then you would hope that, you know, even if you don't get number 1, but you can
But are there limited slots? So everybody that does pre-med?
Yeah, there's limited slots.
So not everybody that does pre-med is going to make it.
No.
So you have to do well.
Yeah, you have to do well.
So I take it that you didn't get the number 1 spot.
No, I didn't.
Okay.
I didn't.
Do you know the person that did? And did they go to Australia?
During our time, I can't remember, but I think it was one. Yeah, there was one girl.
Okay.
There was one girl called Pulani.
Yeah, and she went to Oz.
Pulani went to Melbourne. Yeah.
Okay, so you got you got your second choice, but you ended up in Pretoria.
I ended up in Pretoria.
Yeah.
Because
2006.
Yeah. Because there was, I think there was, if I remember well, there was 10 places in Australia and 38 places in South Africa.
Okay. All funded by the Botswana government. I mean, that's interesting. Very interesting.
No.
So, they paid for the whole education. And then do they give you like terms and conditions where they say if you go there and you fail, or if you have to do it within this amount of time? Or do they say to you that after you pass, you must come and work in Botswana for a number of years? All that? How does it work?
You know, the thing is, those contracts, they were like, it's not like, in South Africa, you get NEFSAS, right?
Yeah.
And then
NEFSAS,
the fund, student fund system, whatever. So now that in Botswana, you get, your tuition fees get paid. You get allowance for books. You get allowance, living allowance. If you stay off campus, you get allowance to pay your rent and whatnot.
Okay.
But the difference with NSFAS, like you have to sort of like pay the money back. Yeah. In some way or the other. But they deduct money from your account, if I remember well.
But Botswana?
But in Botswana, there's no such a thing. If there were courses that were considered that if you do this, then it's sort of like a grant.
So there's no strings attached. You can come to South Africa, you can study here, you don't have to go back. You don't have to pay them back, nothing.
No, there was no such clause.
Nothing at all.
Contract, if I remember very well. There wasn't anything.
Well, I mean, you will remember because then you'll know I need to go back or not.
I need to go,
And nobody called you, so.
No one has called me.
So 2006, you make it to South Africa, like now you're overseas, basically, in a different country now. Were you nervous, excited, scared? Who dropped you off here? How did you get here?
So the first time when I came here, I was staying with this friend of mine called James.
Okay. Yes.
We went to the same Bannister.
Yeah. So you traveled with him?
No, I didn't travel with him.
Yeah.
When I came with a bus.
Yeah. Okay. Just then, grandmother drops you there, or?
Yeah, like my mom was already in Gaborone at that time. Okay. Yeah, so she dropped me off at the bus. Then I took a bus. I came.
Yeah.
I stayed at James's flat.
And the first time you've been to South Africa?
No.
Okay.
Remember, like the old man was staying in Rustenburg.
Oh yes. Yeah. So you've been here before.
So always been going to Rustenburg. It wasn't the first time in South Africa. And like some of my family members are in Mafikeng and Vryburg.
Okay.
So we always used to go there with the old lady, And also going to Pietersburg, to Moria.
And it's also not the first time you're staying away from home because you were at the University of Botswana. So you had tasted the freedom of student life. For 1.5 years.
Yeah.
So you get here.
So I get here.
And then it's the first time you're seeing white people. Or what?
No, not really. Not really, because remember, like I would go to Rustenburg, then we interact with other fellows and whatnot, the swimming pools, but it wasn't the first time I'm seeing like Caucasians.
Okay.
Yeah. So I
But you were expecting international students.
Oh,
you found a guy wearing a shirt that says Russia, but it turns out he's from Durban. And then, how was university?
So when I got here, like I met James. James is staying at his flat. So now James helped me to do like my stuff, like university registration,
the admin,
going to the embassy, like that's that admin of first year, and then I got to be placed in res by the university and all that, and then so then started staying at Hippo.
That's one of the senior reses at the University of Pretoria. And then how was undergrad?
Yeah, bruh.
Yeah.
Undergrad
was it like a rude awakening, or was it anything like pre-med, or did pre-med prepare you?
Well, I felt like it was just a continuation of pre-med, but now on a sort of like a better level.
Okay.
Yeah. Pre-med, we were home, and like we were like, your parents could just walk in at any time.
Yeah.
if they find you doing things that are of naughty boys and stuff, then they will like call you to order.
Yeah.
So now here we're in Pretoria. It was like full freedom. Yeah.
Which is,
and then like also like sort of like discovering yourself, growing. And so yeah, like.
Did you think that I've made a big mistake?
No. At that time, I was already in. Like
you were in. You're happy.
But when we were undergrad, we were not even thinking about careers at that time.
Yes.
Yeah. Remember, we were just about we go to campus. We come back. We study. We go play.
Yes.
Friday.
Have fun and enjoy the ride
and progress. Yeah. And I mean, 6 years is a
which
long
is what
time.
I'm trying to get at with this podcast, because I wonder if there are people that have thought about their career carefully, planned it, and then gotten into it and executed. There's a plane flying overhead here at your house.
You know what?
So I apologize.
Well, I'm gonna speak for myself.
Yeah.
But for other people, because what I realize is that, when you're still young, you sort of like, okay, you're getting into this career, even though there's career guidance and whatnot, but I don't think like small ladies like pay attention to a lot of.
You're too young. You're too young.
You're too young to like think, okay, I'm gonna become a doctor. I'm gonna become a professor. And no, I think it's just a thing that what.
And I think that's why the American universities and things. Because remember, we had a guy that studied with us on exchange from America,
Anand,
and he would tell us that in America that they find themselves for the first few years. They go to college or whatever they call it, and there's no plan. But the plan is to find yourself. We don't have that luxury here in South Africa and Botswana.
You touch, you move.
We need to get out there and start earning and supporting ourselves and families and things.
Yeah.
So, okay. So you get into university, there's no regrets. It's not like me where... So you were working towards this goal, but did you think you want to be a surgeon at this stage? Nothing in your mind?
At that stage, nothing. Nothing. Yeah. I think the only time when like I sort of, like at that time, yes, man, we'll come back from play PlayStation.
From campus,
and we say, hey, Yashi, let's go study, and then we sleep. Yeah. Tomorrow we get into class again. To second year is dissection, we're smelling of formalin the whole day and whatever. And then I think for you guys then, when you started...
dental school proper,
was it like now end of second year, right?
Yes,
yeah. So end of second year, you start sort of like working now with in the dental hospital.
Yeah. So the first 2 years in the University of Pretoria, the medics and the dentists are all together.
Yeah.
And then after second year,
after second year, second semester or something.
Yeah, the dentists then go their own way, and the doctors carry on their thing.
Yeah. So, but with us in medicine, it wasn't really that awakening. I would say like it was still basics of medicine in first and second year.
Yeah.
So the only time when now I thought I want to be something like maybe a subspecialist in medicine.
Right.
Was in third year.
In medicine, you mean internal medicine?
In like medicine.
Oh, in general.
Yeah.
You wanted to, but what did you think you wanted to specialize in?
Yeah. So now the thing is now in third year now, you start doing cardiology. I think that was the first thing that we did in first.
Like a block.
In third year.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because the way I remember is because now, this is the time now, this person who raised me, Emily, now started getting sick.
Okay, your grandma.
Then they would update me from home. They say, the problem is her heart and she's got pleural effusions. Yes. And this is now
How would you stay in touch with home? Because people don't realize we didn't have WhatsApp and all those things in those days.
Yeah,
video calls.
Those days...
just telephone.
Yeah, so Emily had a telephone at home.
Yes, a landline.
A landline, yeah. But now the cell phones, I think, had already started.
Yeah.
But it was, those phones that you...
those feature phones, yeah.
So that you'd call and whatnot. So like, they had... those cell phones at home, like
you used to stay in touch with them like that. And your grandmother's getting sick at this time.
Sick at this time. Now she's moving in between my mom and my aunt, and So
but distracting also for you, right?
Exactly. Yeah. But now the thing is, now we start doing cardiology, and like it's becoming interesting. And the professor as well, Prof K, was very enthusiastic. He loved
a good
cardiology. He was a good teacher, demonstrating everything to us and whatnot. So those things I could sort of relate what Emily is going through.
Okay.
The heart failure, the pleural effusions, what causes all those things, because Prof would explain all those things to us.
So it wasn't just
class.
abstract, it wasn't theoretical, it was now you can find practical application of what you're learning.
Yeah. So that time I thought, oh, you know what, one day I'm going to be a cardiologist.
Okay.
You know, then the years went by. Then
third year, fourth year, fifth year.
Yeah. So then things like still get interesting. You know, then you do pulmonology. Okay. No. Pulmonology is not for me. TBs and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then I think second semester of third year, then we did surgery.
Okay.
Now
second semester of third year.
Of third year. Yeah. So now we do surgery. The head of department at that time was Prof Becker. So with him, like the discipline, like you know, getting to.
I've heard that the University of Pretoria is very like military style discipline. Clean shaven.
Yeah, no, it's like that. So like
you guys used to wear ties and things.
We used to wear ties for these lectures.
Yeah, I wonder if they do that now.
They still do.
Okay,
they still do. So like you would go there, ties, white shirts. You know, like your hair must be combed,
right, and
you must not be late.
Yeah, your
shoes must be polished.
Okay,
or else you go back home.
And now you're telling me all this, and this attracted you to surgery.
I think. You see the discipline.
Yeah.
It attracted me to surgery.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. Because I was raised like by people who were disciplinarians, you know.
Okay.
So I would conform to what these guys would like tell us to do and not even question.
Yes, yeah.
You know, so that's how my grandfather was, and my grandmother was also sort of she was a bit relaxed, but my grandfather is one person who wouldn't take like nonsense, you know.
Okay.
So this like sort of like now played part. Now I'm like, okay, this is where my heart lies.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you knew already in third year?
Well, remember there was cardiology at the beginning of the year.
Yes.
Yeah. And now there's this surgery.
Yeah.
So I'm still a bit conflicted.
Yes.
Now we get to third year. In third year, I meet this wonderful friend of mine called Dr. Maseko.
Yeah.
Marcus.
Yeah.
Marco. So Marco Sonke. So Marco like was this also like a very, you know, vibrant ENT final registrar.
Okay.
And then I was thinking, no. Then he said, Caiphus, you must come and do ENT, man.
Yeah.
Then I said, no, Marco, you know what? This is actually what I like. You know. And also Prof Mueller.
Yeah.
I think his name was Prof Mueller, who was the professor at that time. He would tell us stories about like the other consultants who work in his department, part-time consultants. He's a rugby referee and whatever this other consultant. You're like, oh, so you can have a lot of free time and even be a referee of rugby. So like those kind of things will entice you.
Yeah.
But then like, you know, it's, you were still young, as I said, like you're not like
and you're getting exposed to different things.
You're getting exposed to different things, and you get excited by every sort of like station. I would say,
of course,
yeah, you know. So like it was like that. Then, well, surgery. Now, I was still thinking, okay, ENT in my head, ENT. We finished. I was still thinking ENT.
What do you mean you finished? After final year?
After final year, yeah.
Okay.
But then now...
How does it work? So you finish medicine after 6 years, right? Because it's a 6-year degree. So if all goes well, you do that. Then you got to do 2 years of internship.
2 years of internship.
At an academic hospital.
Yeah.
Where do you do that? Where did you do it?
Not really academic. You have to go to an institution that is accredited to train interns.
Okay.
So the way I think HPC does it is there must be consultants there.
Okay, so where did you go?
Who can supervise? I went to JST.
What's JST?
Job Shimangana Tabana Hospital.
And where is that? It's in Rustenburg.
Yeah.
So you went there for 2 years?
I went there for 2 years. Then I finished
and you're still trying to figure out, now I'm going to be an ENT. You're still thinking at that time?
I'm still thinking at that time, yeah. But then I was sort of like still now attracted to surgery when I got to JST now, internship.
Yes, in an internship, yeah.
I worked with an old man now who went to, he was a Cuban old surgeon called Dr. Aleman. Yeah. He was working with one one South African surgeon, Dr. Skete.
Okay.
Those were the only 2 surgeons at the hospital at that time. And like there's also like the same kind of principle. Time, be neat, do things like, like discipline, basically.
Yeah, very disciplined.
Yeah.
So and maybe that's like a common thread with surgery.
Yes. So like that's now like sort of like, I think reinforced my love for surgery.
Okay. So that's
then
internship.
I told myself, I told myself, you know what? I think I found what I like.
Okay. So that's after, but then now you still have to do ComServe, right? Community service for 1 year.
You still have to do community service.
Where do you do that?
So now when I finished in Rustenburg, I went to Garankuwa now.
Garankuwa, that's by Medun. That's Medunsa. What do you call it? Sefako Makhato.
Sefako Makhato, yeah. So I went there now, started there in 20...
So you got ComServe at Garankuwa?
Yeah.
Okay.
2014. So there...
That's a nice post to get for ComServe, because isn't ComServe usually you can get anywhere and everywhere and be posted all over the place? Yeah.
So, well, at that time, you see, it was... they were starting a trauma units there.
Okay.
In George Mukar. So
it's George Mukar.
They were recruiting like junior people and like people who are interested in working in surgery or trauma to work in that unit.
Okay.
So not majority of the people, after internship, you want to sort of like explore the world and, because now you sort of like, you're not really an independent practitioner. You are a public service practitioner, but you're not under like strict control like in ComServe.
Yes.
You can apply for like in internship, You're sort of like now an adult.
Yes.
So
you're no longer a student.
You're no longer a student. Yeah. So we applied there. My friend like told me that no, they're starting a trauma unit here. You should just apply to do ComServe here. His name is Dr. Marekis Skizo. So Skizo said, no, apply, man, so that we can work in the trauma unit.
Yeah. And then you can work your way up there.
Then you can work your way up there. Yeah.
And that worked out.
That's like worked out because now I met this very brilliant and good mentor and teacher, Prof. Koto.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
They interviewed me with one of my other mentors as well, Dr. Mutilal.
Yeah.
Who's a trauma surgeon. He was starting the trauma unit at George Mukar.
Yes.
They interviewed me, and then like after about 2 weeks or so, then we were told, no, you can come. You're gonna start working here in the trauma unit.
ComServe.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So we established that trauma unit. So we started with Dr. Mutilal, Dr. Marekisi, and the other colleagues that were working there at that time. And
then after you finish your ComServe year, what happens then?
After I finished my ComServe year, I had the option of like going to work somewhere else, but then
because as a medical officer,
right? As a medical officer, I love surgery. The trauma unit was still being established. Still, it was
at George Mukari
growing. Yeah. Then I told the professor and my consultant, no, I would like to stay and work there. Then they gave me a contract, a permanent contract
as a medical officer.
As a medical officer, yeah.
Then how do you get into specializing?
So now, after 2 years as a medical officer in trauma, then I got a registrar post.
Okay, so you have to apply for that. There'll be vacancies. Because you must remember, people listening and watching this podcast also are maybe high school students and people thinking about getting into medicine. So I want to give them an appreciation of how long the road is to get to where you are.
Yeah.
And everything in between.
Yeah.
So, so you have to do 2 years as a medical officer. Then you apply, you get into the specialist registrar post.
Registrar post, yeah.
And then how long do you have to be a registrar?
So you have to be a registrar for at least 4 years.
At least 4 years, okay.
Yeah.
And then you train under Prof. Koto and consultants.
I trained under Prof. Koto and the other consultants.
At George Mukari.
Yeah, Prof. Koto, Prof. Becker. Like there's many other consultants there, like in different units.
And how does it work? You just do surgeries. For 4 years, you just operate.
No, bruh.
Yeah.
So it's not like that. So like in the first year, the program in George Mukari in the first year is sort of like your kindergarten years.
Okay.
Yeah. So you do.
It's amazing because you're a whole doctor.
Yeah.
And you're in kindergarten. Okay. Yeah.
So like so now in
First year of registrarship.
Yeah, so like in George Mukari,
Yeah.
I don't know about other universities how they do it, but like in George Mukari, the professor will say, no, you see, you do kindergarten rotations.
This is Prof. Quarter saying
Yeah.
this stuff.
You do kindergarten rotations. So kindergarten rotations is your acute care,
Yeah.
where people come with septic legs and whatever, then you just cut the leg.
Like
Amputations.
Yeah.
And or debridements, you clean it up if it's still viable or whatever. Then like appendixes, so you do appendixes.
So these are all kindergarten.
This is like all kindergarten stuff, yeah.
Okay.
And then you also now get to do trauma.
Okay.
Like step abdomens, you learn how to explore but you place with a senior registrar, obviously. That
stabbed. So when patients get stabbed,
someone gets stabbed in the community.
Yeah.
At bars or journal fights or whatever, stabbed.
And does this happen often? Remember, we might have listeners and stuff from the UK and.
Well, at George Mukari, it happens. It's a high volume center. It happens quite often.
Like how often? Every day?
In trauma, it was like that time. It was like every day.
Every day you're seeing somebody that's stabbed.
Every day.
Every single day.
It's either a stab or a gunshot to the abdomen.
This is why people from America and things come and do their electives because
remember Anand came from America. He said
you're seeing gunshots and stabs every single day.
Yeah.
And this is like, it's not like in a very high risk area. This is okay. So that's kindergarten.
That's like kindergarten stuff, yeah.
Right.
So you
amazing. Stabs and things are kindergarten training for South African surgeon. Okay, go on.
Yeah. So then you get to do that. You get to get people beaten by the community.
Okay.
And they sustain what you call like crushing jar. Like the community just picks whatever they want to pick.
And crushes them.
And beats them up.
Okay.
So now they sustain this crush injuries and they might get renal failure in the process because of the myoglobin, urea and all that stuff. So we got to manage those kind of patients in trauma.
Okay.
Also the ones who come with head injuries and polytraumas from maybe car accidents and stuff. You manage them with the other sub-disciplines.
So this is still kindergarten?
Well, the other it's sort of like kindergarten for because now you get to do like high grade surgeries where like when you're in second, third year, fourth year.
Yeah, like what?
You do like liver surgeries.
Okay.
You do like stomach surgeries, resections.
Okay.
You do rectum. That's high grade stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That comes in second, third and
cancers and whatnot. That comes in second year, third year, fourth year.
Okay.
That's something that a first year registrar would not comprehend.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a lot of high grade stuff there.
It's very technical.
It's very technical. It's very demanding. Dealing with oncology on its own is just a lot.
Okay.
So those firms, the so-called senior firms.
Yeah. Firm. What is a firm now? I don't get it.
A firm.
Remember, I'm a dentist. Eh?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So like
and you're talking to people that have never been in this.
Yeah. So now a firm is like, okay, like there at SMU, you would be like in Prof. Koto's firm.
Yeah.
That firm deals with specific pathology.
Okay.
Stomach cancers, cancers of the esophagus, hernias, complex hernias, not just simple hernias. And then you get also to deal with bariatrics, these big patients, like obese patients coming for obesity operations.
Yeah, so that's one firm, and then
that's
who's in that
one
firm?
It's Prof. Koto. At that time, he was with Anel Lantin.
Yeah, is that a surgeon? Another consultant?
She's another surgeon. At that time, when I was still at George Mukari.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
So a firm is made up of a senior specialist, a specialist, a registrar,
a senior registrar, and maybe some junior registrar.
Okay.
A senior registrar may be a registrar that is in final year. But now they don't put with the kindergarten guys, no.
Yeah.
With the guy who's maybe like in second year or third year. So
and then you work together, you see each other every day.
Yes.
And you discuss
so
what's
like
the day in the life of
each firm.
Yeah.
Each firm has got like its own schedule.
Okay.
Yeah. So then I was explaining about this upper GIT firm, right? Now there's other firms like colorectal. There's another consultant there in colorectal. So he's the head of colorectal.
Okay.
Now the colorectal guys, they deal with colon pathology.
Yeah.
Colon pathology, intestinal failure, and rectum pathology and anus.
Okay.
That's the only thing they deal with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then how long are you in that firm for?
So you go 3 months, 3 months, 3 months,
Okay.
3 months.
So you rotate and you get the whole picture.
The whole picture, yeah. And so each firm now, you were asking about how does it work with each firm. So each firm has got its own schedule.
Okay.
Colorectal and this one, upper GI, Prof. Koto's one, it's got its own schedule. So with, let me give an example, like the upper GI one, on Mondays is our let's say it's our day of admission.
Okay.
Admitting patients who are going for elective surgeries the following day.
Okay.
Yeah. Those who come from home, we must admit them, do their blood tests, do their x-rays, do basically pre-operative workup. It's our pre-operative workup day. Yeah. Then we go with the professor around. We're showing him the patients that we are booking for surgeries. Then he would advise, okay, this one, please, you must add 1, 2, 3 on the test that you're doing. And
when you're walking around in your firm, there's like 4 or 5 of you with the prof.
Yeah.
And then it's just, and then the patient is in the bed.
Yeah.
And there's like 4 or 5 people hovering around a patient. That patient is just like, okay, that's interesting.
Yeah. So like, but all the patients, like they know the professor, because remember,
if I'm a patient, I would like that, because at least you've got like 5 people looking after you. But it can also be like a bit intimidating and a bit,
No, well, for patients, it wasn't like,
it is a bit of an invasion of privacy. You know what I mean?
Exactly. It is. But the thing is, the fact that like you are at an academic hospital,
being taken care of,
it makes them at ease.
Yeah.
And most of the time, they would know the registrar, of course, but because maybe they would have walked the journey with the professor before the registrars come. Before the registrars rotate.
Yes.
Now you will be the new registrar. Now the patient comes, has been worked up for the past 3 months or something. Those old registrars are gone. But the patients would know the owner of the firm, sort of,
There's always that constant link there.
It's always a constant link. The professor is a constant link.
Okay.
Yeah. So they would know, and then you would say, okay, and then you'd question the senior registrar. So the operation that we're doing tomorrow, so what do you think? Or the technicalities.
The
professor,
Okay, well, ask like
the technical
quiz, like type of thing.
Ask the senior registrar. The senior registrar will answer the technicalities of the operation and the complications and whatever. The anatomy and all that stuff. But when it comes to like small questions, like
more standard grade ones.
Like,
go to the junior reg.
Well, the junior registrar not so much. But they will also get like a bit of, he knows how to, the professors, they know how to like
delegate and how to grade.
This one, so Yash is a senior registrar. Yash, I'm going to ask him this. Caiphus is a middle registrar. This is the questions that's relevant for him. Like they've been in the game for like so many years. So like they know this one is for this one, this one is for this. And when it comes, it goes to the level of like 4th years.
Okay.
4th year medical student. Remember
4th year med students.
They join us in rounds.
Okay. So it's quite a big crew that's walking around. Crew of surgeons.
It's a big
and would-be surgeons.
It's a big crew. And
this happens for 4 years now as a registrar.
Of your life.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And then when you operate, do you assist? You start off by assisting a surgeon, how does that work?
Yeah, so
you're just in the deep end?
No. It's not like that. So remember when you are now that kindergarten rotations, acute care, what. So like you placed with a senior registrar. You get an appendix, he shows you how to do an appendix.
Okay.
He says, okay, remember in the anatomy, you do this, you do that. Then
on a piece of paper?
No. The thing is that you must go and read.
Yeah, you read first.
How to do the surgical technique textbooks.
Right.
When you come and do an appendix with a senior registrar, you are assisting.
Okay.
You're not operating.
Yeah. So you just
You show
What is
maybe you're
assisting?
holding the camera
Okay.
and he's operating laparoscopically.
Yeah.
Then he's telling you, okay, this is how we do this. This is how we do this. Then the next time, not maybe immediately, but after maybe he's inducted you for like five procedures of the same procedure. He will then say, okay, listen, now it's your turn now to do what I've been doing.
Yeah, and now you're shivering now. Depends on you, on the person.
It depends on the person,
Somebody might have been itching to do it from day one.
Exactly,
right?
exactly.
Those are the ones that scare me personally. The ones that want to do it. Yeah.
So remember some people also now come to become registrars, to train when they had already been like medical officers and they were operating wherever they were working.
They're much more comfortable.
They're much more comfortable, you know. But the assumption is that you are in kindergarten, you're going to be shown how things are done here in this institution. You might
regardless
be from somewhere else.
if you've done it for 5-10 years.
But you must be shown.
Okay.
So,
they slowly work you up. Like
they slowly work you up. And then, so like, then you sort of like know how to do things now for them. You know, so that's the thing. But like, you know, like we sort of deviated on like the film kind of
go on with that.
So that's the pre-operative workup day. Monday, Tuesday you're operating. Wednesday is like now like a clinic. You go see those patients that you operated, then you go to a clinic.
Okay.
A clinic is when you see the stable people who are coming for follow-ups. And those who are coming for surgical problems that need intervention.
Okay.
And then Thursdays was like scopes. We were doing gastroscopes.
Okay.
For people with scope pathologies that need to be done, scopes. Then Fridays we were doing the ward round, then we would operate at Brits. So every firm has got like its own.
Okay, Brits is how far from? It's quite far away.
Brits from Harangu was like maybe, I think it's 30 kilometers.
Okay, not bad. Okay,
we take 30 minutes to drive there.
And Fridays?
That's Fridays.
Okay, and Saturdays?
No, Saturdays, then if you're not on call, you relax, or like whoever is doing the.
So you can be on call on a weekend. And what do you do on call as a surgeon in training?
Yeah, so now when you're on call now, all the emergencies that get transferred from small hospitals, you operate them.
Okay. So it's a 24 hours, 7 days a week type of thing. For 4 years.
But if you're not on call, then you get to relax.
Okay.
It's a weekend off.
Okay.
But still, you must organize someone within yourselves as registrars to go and see the inpatients.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then after 4 years, you specialize, right? Finish, you do all of that for 4 years, every day.
Yeah.
I can imagine you don't take much leave.
No, leave is controlled.
You're writing exams?
You're writing
that
exams,
time? Tests.
But lucky enough with me, I did my primaries. So there's 3 sets of thinging for this
exams,
for this program. For the training, surgical training program. So you do your fellowship College of Surgeons with the College of Medicines of South Africa.
Okay.
So there's 3 sets of exams. There's primaries, there's intermediates, there's finals.
There's 3 sets of exams for the College of Medicine.
So I wrote my primaries when I was still a medical officer.
Okay.
That you can do when you're still a medical officer.
Before you get into the specialist program.
Yeah. Into the university program, the registrar program.
Registrar program,
And then because I was in an academic institution, I was in trauma. Then I got to rotate in ICU.
Okay.
I went to ICU, full 3 months in ICU.
Right.
Then when I finished, then the professor in ICU and your professor can then sign and say, no, he's been working in trauma for more than 3 months.
Yeah.
And the ICU and say he came to be under my supervision for 3 months for intensive care patients.
Yeah.
Then you can write intermediates.
Okay.
So I did all of that while I was still a medical officer.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then the finals, when's that?
The finals now, you can't get in, jump in, and then after 1 year you write. Even though you have those other ones.
Yes.
No, you must.
Your professor has to tell you when you can write.
Yeah, when you are ready.
Wow, it's interesting, eh? Like
it's long.
Okay, so how many years? Let's just calculate. So you do 6 years, you do 2 years pre-med.
Mm.
Then you do 6 years undergrad, that's 8 years. Then you do 4 years of reg, that's 12 years.
That's 12 years. Now, you must also include now internship.
Oh, yes. I forgot before we got to this. So it comes to about 15 years before you are a surgeon.
Yeah.
Minimum. And that's minimum, because you got it through in minimum.
Yeah.
Okay. So you make it to, you specialize now. I've seen your website. It's actually, I didn't know you had this fancy website. You didn't really show it to me, but it looks great.
Yeah.
It's gofhamodimomosasi.co.za, right? And I went on to the last night when I was researching things. I actually do some work for this day. You'll be surprised. And I'm going to read what it says. It says, Dr. Caiphus obtained a Bachelor of Medicine degree from the University of Pretoria in 2011 and went on to complete a Master of Medicine in General Surgery residency at Sepako Makgato Health Sciences University from 2018 to 2022. During this time, Dr. Caiphus conducted research on the outcomes of laparoscopic appendectomy in cases of 4-quadrant pus grade 5 acute appendicitis. In addition, you completed a fellowship of College of Surgeons. That's what you were talking about. And then you also have previous work experience at George Mukari Academic Hospital in Pretoria. And it goes on and it ends there, right? So is being a surgeon stressful? You don't look stressed, I can tell you, but
no.
Yeah.
I guess it's because I'm with you, man. It's sort of like catch up for me and you, like. But it's very stressful.
Okay.
It's very stressful. Like, it's like every day you're worried about something or about someone's life.
Yeah, that is hectic.
Yeah. You're worried about someone's life. And us, like, being people who come from families and whatever, as you grow older, you tend to realize that, an individual that I'm not treating an individual here. This individual is a father, is an uncle.
Yeah.
This individual is a husband.
Yeah.
There's so many. Yeah, a breadwinner.
Community person. Yeah.
Community person, like a pastor or whatever. Like, there's so many things. When I look at myself or when I look at you, there's so many things around us, Do you think that all surgeons think like this, though? Well, I think that's the way people should think.
Well, you're saying should. But I'm asking you a very...
well, I think they do.
Okay.
I think most surgeons, that is why they're very strict and they, when something goes wrong, like you give a milliliter over what they prescribe, they become frustrated.
When they train you, do they tell you about these things? Does
about what?
And then remind you, like, you're not just treating one patient, you're treating a family.
Well, it's what goes on every day.
Yeah.
Remember now, on top of all these things that we are telling you about of the program in each firm.
Yeah.
In Garankua, every day, 7 o'clock until 9 o'clock, you are in a post sort of like intake meeting.
Okay.
Where the people who were on call last night, they come, they report, we operated so many patients, and this first one we did 1, 2. Then they get asked, what did you do with this one? How did you do this? How did you do this? So it's like, it's sort of like an interview every day.
And work never leaves you because now
work never leaves. After 9 o'clock, you must go and work. After reporting and being being quizzed every day of your life.
And private practice, it doesn't change because now you're in private, right?
It doesn't change. Actually, private practice now, the people now who demand answers from you, is I would say I think it's even worse.
Yeah, more demanding.
Yeah, because now it's the family.
More stressful. Yeah,
it's not the professor anymore.
Yeah,
it's the family.
Yeah,
and anything that you don't explain well, or anything that might have went wrong and you don't report it, you don't become open about it.
Yeah,
might become a source of like, people being now concerned.
Yeah.
And then they seek like maybe second opinion, and then they might come with litigations at a later stage. No.
Do you get complaints and patient complaints and things like that?
You like I myself, like, I've gotten like a a complaint that we worried this was not done right. Or
I mean,
whatever.
I suppose, but for people listening, I think it's important to mention this. But surgery is a very high risk field, and it's almost inevitable that you'll get at least one in your life, if not many, many, many more. Complications and complaints and unhappy families and patients.
Exactly.
So private is much more demanding in the sense that you're not just dealing with the prof, but I'm guessing you're also probably doing billing. All of those things are different. Government
so like in private is not, in the state is to work to be a surgeon in the state only. And to be a surgeon in private is two different worlds.
Okay. Tell me.
It's two different worlds in the sense that in public, you come there as Dr. Gofhamodimo, you just say, okay, this person has got a hernia.
Okay.
You say, I would like to help this individual next week on my elective list. It's like, we operating this person next week. Then you don't have to do authorization with the medical aid to explain to them, no, I need to operate this person and put mesh, this sort of a mesh that I want to do. This is the technique that I want to use.
You're talking about you have to write a motivation letter to the medical aid. That's
not
funding.
Really. Your PA must call the medical aid, says, doctor wants to do maybe laparoscopic hernia repair.
Okay. Well, you've got a PA. I mean,
you've got a PA.
You have to have a PA.
Yeah, you can't do it yourself.
Okay.
When I started my private practice, I was doing all those things myself.
Right.
I would call the medical aid and say, hey, listen, I've got someone here. But then the practice starts getting busy.
Okay.
Yeah. You're not operating. So it's only 2-3 cases.
You can do it if you're starting off and things are not booming. But as soon as things boom, it'll be impossible.
As soon as things start becoming busy, you can't do those things. You have to have someone who's sitting there at your office, who's booking theaters for you, who's doing this authorizations.
Okay, so what does a day in the life of a private practice surgeon look like? Now, where do you operate?
I'm at Life Park Larry Hospital in Rustenburg.
Life Hospital in Rustenburg,
and also at Netcare there in Rustenburg.
So you had Life and Netcare, both in Rustenburg. So two different hospital groups, private practice. What is a day in the life of that? What do? You wake up on a Monday morning and what?
You wake up Monday morning, you go see your patients in the ward, in ICU, whatever the case might be. Then you go to your office, you see your patients that are booked by your PA. You see them, you plan their surgeries. You discuss with them that this is the surgery you need, and whatever, depending on the condition. Then you tell your secretary, hey, man.
So now you're discussing directly with the patient. You're not no longer standing there with 10 people around the patients and talking to prof. You are connecting with the patient directly.
Yes.
And they know you, and you're the person responsible for them. And so, am I right or am I wrong? Is like you have to connect a bit more with them.
Yes, you have to connect with your patient because now, you have to sort of like buy their confidence in you.
And win their trust.
That you are capable of.
It's all about trust. They need to trust you, right? How do they come to you? How do you? Do people refer? Or?
So most of the time, you see, as a specialist, it's different because now it's not like a GP, like it's a walk-in and whatever. There, it's like maybe your GPs, the network of GPs would say, no, you have this kind of a condition, but it needs surgical intervention. The surgeon that I refer to is Dr. Gofhamodimo.
Okay, and how do you build that network?
You build that network through like former colleagues. Former colleagues from
people that studied with you.
School, former colleagues from maybe when you were specializing. And
why
colleagues that you worked with
because I always thought one of the beautiful things about healthcare is that because I remember I also did law and I became a lawyer, right? And networking was a huge part of that. You have to go and do business development and go and have drinks and meet with clients and things. And I always think the medics have it beautiful because you don't really need to do this network building type of thing. Am I right or am I wrong? Because it sounds like you still have to build a network.
No, you have to build a network, but it's not about going out and to dinners and whatnot. it's about, most of the time, you'll see it's about like how you relate with people.
Okay.
Yeah. How you relate with people. You know?
Relationship with people.
It's relationships with people. If you are a rude person, no one will want to.
Yeah. If I'm a GP and I think, Caiphus is just difficult, I'm not gonna.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're not gonna, you sort of like impose that on your patients. That no, you see that doctor, the way he treats people, he's rude, he's what.
And you might be
I don't want you to go to that person because maybe you might have certain questions that might irritate him, and then he becomes rude to you.
Yes.
That's how,
even though he or she might be the most technically gifted.
Yeah. But the fact that he's rude, he doesn't know how to relate with people, then it puts them at a...
So it's important, your relationship is important not only with your patient, but also with your colleagues.
With your colleagues.
And your network.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming, because you mentioned it started to boom, that you've built those relationships and you got a stream of relationships going, and people are sending you.
So it's most of the time is referrals from like general practitioners, as I said, and then also the specialist physicians and other colleague surgeons. You know, like maybe I would say maybe a physician sees someone with a thyroid, and then they might come to the physician. They say no, because of like symptoms of hyperthyroidism or something. And they say no, but you know what? They sort them out, medical issues, and then they say no, but eventually you're gonna need surgery. You refer them to Gofhamodimo.
Okay. So it's 7 days a week still. I mean, private practice.
Yeah, private practice 7 days a week.
Maybe even more than 7 days. Except when you're recording podcasts. At least you've got time. I mean, you can, who covers you? No.
Well, so now...
Are you working today?
I went to do the water round this morning.
Yeah. And it's a Saturday morning. Okay. And now, all right. So you worked.
I worked in the morning, then I came to
Any
the
hobbies?
Podcast. Yeah. So like, my hobbies really is like to...
Wait. I saw that you call yourself a black Boer. Are we going there now? What is this?
No,
we've got international listeners also. So just explain. A black Boer means black farmer.
Yeah, a black farmer. Yeah.
What's this?
So yeah. So that that's one of the things that I do on my extra time. You know.
Is that a hobby?
Yeah.
Farming.
Farming is like one of my...
Where? What? When?
My farm is in Botswana.
Yeah.
And we farm cattle.
Okay.
We farm sheep. We farm goats. We farm chickens and horses as well.
Where is this? Botswana?
In Botswana, yeah.
In Lobatse? Or?
No, not in Lobatse. Like just some small...
How did this happen, Caiphus?
Well, like I come from like a farming family.
No, hold on. I mean, your dad is in mining.
Yeah.
Mom in admin. I didn't hear this farming.
Okay, the farming is the old people.
Okay.
Remember when we were growing?
Yeah, the eldest. Yeah.
Yeah. When we were growing, Emily and his brothers.
Okay.
Yeah, and his other siblings.
The grandmother and her siblings and all that. Yeah.
So those farmers. Guys, they came from like this background of their father was a farmer. He was also a soldier.
Well, maybe that's why you and I became such good friends, because I think we have a similar background. You know.
Yeah, we were raised by you know.
And I was born, the farm.
Yeah. So like farming, it comes from there.
Yeah. But livestock farming.
Livestock farming.
Yeah.
But they also used to have like fields where they farm, they do horticulture.
Okay. So you've got farms in Bots, and you go there and what do? You shear the sheep and milk the cows and things?
No, not really. There's workers there, man.
Are you like Jeremy Clarkson? You've got your own farm and you're just running it, you fund it, and people just do it. And...
No. Yeah. So what I do myself, like, because I'm here, I'm working, I'm a professional.
Yeah.
I can't do like professional farming.
It's impossible. Yeah.
Yeah, it's impossible. So
that's a full-time job.
There. Yeah. I've got someone there. His name is Mandla. Shout out to Mandla. Yeah. So Mandla.
Will he watch this?
He watches the. Yeah, okay. Mandla is techno. Yeah. We'll chat with him on WhatsApp. You know.
Yeah.
So like Mandla, like looks after the livestock there.
Okay.
Yeah. And like my mom is very into this as well, you know.
Okay.
She's into this farming. So like she goes there a lot. Like she checks on Mandla, how are things going?
It's a big farm. Like
It's a big farm, yeah.
So when am I? Okay, I'm gonna come visit. I've never been to Bots.
Yeah.
I've been promising. There's an orthodontist in Botswana, Dr. Kulubane. I've told him I'm coming to Bots. I'm probably going to be visiting Caiphus.
Yeah.
And I'm going to visit his practices.
We must set up a date.
Okay.
Not this year, December, because the old lady's going to come and spend Christmas here, man.
Okay, so farming, that's a big hobby to have.
Yeah.
Anything else, fishing and stuff, but you live on a lovely estate. You just took me around. There's a dam here. You're not fishing and boating.
No, fishing. I don't do fishing.
The first time you saw the ocean was with me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the first time I saw the ocean.
Okay, so at least I
remember you took me to.
I broadened your horizons, but you broaden mine also soon with the farming. Can you imagine a life without surgery, or would you have chosen? Yeah.
I can't. Now that I'm there, I can't imagine my life without being a surgeon.
When will you stop? When your body stops you?
Yeah.
So?
You know, I think I'll stop only when operating, like growing old, osteoarthritis and, you know, all the other old age diseases.
Yeah. To me, that's the problem with surgery. You have to be there.
Yeah. Yeah. No, but you know, surgery has got like you can diversify your profile.
Okay.
You know, you can be an elderly surgeon, over 70, but still go and sit in advisory boards, you know, in HPCSA, sit in advisory boards of the hospital, you know,
be a consultant, but in that type of...
be a consultant sort of, you know. Even though the issue with that is always there's new technology coming in all the time.
So you got to keep yourself abreast of all this
Exactly. And like technology in medicine is it's like rapidly...
Yeah, like 5 years ago, things have changed.
Exactly. Yeah. You know? So 5 years ago, or maybe I would say like maybe 20 years ago, or maybe 30, let's say 30 years ago.
Yeah.
The surgeons of 30 years ago, they would operate with a stitch, a certain type of a stitch.
Yeah.
You know, kept cut and whatever. Then the stitches, they keep on improving.
Okay.
Now, we don't use stitches anymore to anastomose bowel, to put bowel together. Well, we still use stitch.
Yeah.
You know, when like a small hole, then you stitch it up.
Yeah.
But the material that's being used now is not that old one that the old professor was using.
Yeah.
So now we use staples now.
Okay.
You cut someone's gut, you put it together with staples.
Yeah.
And like also other like a lot of...
And robotics and all these types of things.
Robotics.
Okay, but
laparoscopy.
So you see that you probably do this until you can't do it anymore. And then maybe you'll go to your farm and finish off there.
Yeah, I think...
if you had to choose a different specialty, if somebody said, no, you have to choose something else.
I can't say no.
Yeah. What would you choose?
If I had to choose a different specialty, let me see.
Because I'm assuming ENT is just like a branch of, it's like a sub-branch of surgery, or not really?
Yeah, it's a specialized surgery for ear, nose, and throat.
Yeah. But it's still surgery.
It's still surgery, yeah. The one...
Cardiology, I'm guessing.
I think, cardiology.
Okay.
Yeah, it would be cardiology. But then the thing is, for you to be a cardiologist, you have to go through internal medicine.
Yeah, all these, it's a different pathway.
You know, it's like someone who's a vascular surgeon, you still have to go through general surgery and become a vascular surgeon.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay. So it's a totally different path.
Yeah.
And you've got like 3 beautiful kids. What do you want them to be when they grow up? Because you mentioned earlier, you said the elders pressured you to medicine. Are you going to do the same thing? You're going to send them into medicine?
No, nowadays, you know, the world nowadays is different from when we were growing up.
Yeah.
You know, when we were growing up, you'd be asked, hey, man, you must be a professional. You must be a what is this? A lawyer. You must be a doctor.
Yeah.
Nowadays, kids can come and tell you, no, Daddy, I want to be a professional dancer.
Yeah.
If that's what is in his mind.
Oh, Emily, the little Emily was telling me I want to be a YouTuber.
Yeah, she wants to be a YouTuber, you know. But this is kids. But I feel like we have a role to play in our kids' life, in the sense that you can sort of like pursue them towards what you want them to be, but you must not
force.
You must not force. Yeah.
You can steer and guide, but at the end of the day, it must be there.
Yeah, you can sort of like advise.
Yeah.
You know, if you see someone is sharp in maths and physics, you can say, hey man, you know what? you can be a structural engineer.
Okay.
And then that sort of like rings bells in their head all the time. And they look at it, they research and what.
So it's not going to be, you're not going to rule with the iron fist and say you better do this, otherwise.
No.
Okay.
No. It can't be that way. But as long as someone is a professional, you know.
Okay. And then that's interesting.
Mm.
I'm going to do a lightning round, quick questions. You mustn't think, you must just answer.
Yeah.
Early bird or night owl? You.
Early bird.
Okay.
And both.
Okay, well, you see. Tractor or horseback ride?
Horseback.
Would you rather milk a cow or shear a sheep?
Milk a cow.
Okay. Describe yourself in 3 words.
You see,
That's fine.
Okay.
We'll leave it. Yeah? No, you've got it. Yeah, tell me. 3 words, KP.
Loving.
Yeah.
Friendly.
Yeah.
Easy to go.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll agree with all of those.
Yeah.
If you could choose one procedure to do for the rest of your life as a surgeon, which one would it be? Quickly.
Hernia repair.
Okay. That was easy for you. I thought you were going to take more time. I'm going to close now with the question that I think I'm going to ask most of my guests, right?
Yeah.
If someone came to you now and said to you, maybe a high school student or somebody like that, or somebody in pre-med or whatever, said, I'm thinking of doing medicine.
Mm.
Do you have any advice for me? What would you tell them?
Yeah. So what I would tell them is that medicine is a lifetime commitment. It's not a career that you get in and then you say, you know what? I can just do something with this degree besides. It's something that you have to do and you have to like be sure about.
Yeah.
You know? It's very demanding, the hours, the work that you put in as a student right from the beginning.
Yeah.
No, you used to do calls as students.
Yeah.
The time that you put in, and you must know that as you grow into the career as well, into specialties more especially, and subspecialties, it doesn't. For some people, they have this perception that as you grow older into the career, you relax.
Yeah.
You know, you are a consultant, you relax. No. You're still going to spend time in the hospital.
Yeah.
Your family is going to miss you. And like you have to have people who are very understanding around you.
Yeah.
You know? So it's something that you have to really have the heart for it.
Yes.
Yeah. For it to work for you.
Okay. I think that's great.
If not, then like it's people like just jump off along the way.
I think that's brilliant advice. Yeah. My boy, thank you so much. Let's hope this comes out well. We sat outside your garden. For the listeners, first we went to the dam, which is around the corner from Caiphus's house, and we realized it's way too windy there. Then we said, let's come here. And he's got 3 beautiful kids. But, you know, as people who have kids will know, they're very noisy. So we were worrying about that. And on this estate, I'll put a photo on my Instagram, because when I was driving in, I had to stop at a stop street which said planes crossing, and planes have the right of way. So there were planes flying over and helicopters and all sorts of things.
I hope they didn't disturb
yeah, let's see what the audio comes out and what we can work our magic. But either way, even if it's not, I think the content was great, and I really appreciate your time and your friendship.
Yeah.
And let's see how it goes. Thanks a lot, man.
Thanks, Gino.
Cheers.
Yeah, all the best, man.
Thank you.